All right, Thomas, we ready? Okay. Well, obviously, understatement to say it was a big win, a much needed win, against a really, solid SEMO team who was coming off a big win over TSU last week where they were very dominant, in their performance. Very proud of our guys. Really proud of the complementary football we played in the, second half, especially where we were able to cause some turnovers, offense go and score. Offensive line really took over the game in the second half, late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, which is always good to see. David Gist and Jordan Brown, both running backs, ran extremely hard. Willie Miller came in the second half and did a great job. Drew Martin was hurt in the first half. Will be lost for the season with an injury, just one of some other injuries that we have where we're losing guys. But Willie came in and really, again, had been playing receiver and some quarterback, but came in and did a nice job. The big thing that helped was we're able to get the running game going. And you can't say enough about what our defense played in the first half. I mean, they were put in a lot of tough situations and we're able to keep the score to 10-0. I mean, we still felt like we were in the football game at 10-0 and getting the ball, to start the second half. So, really a good offense, defense, special teams, a lot of energy, on our sidelines, much needed win. We've had some really close games with these guys over the last few years and have not been able to win. We lost an overtime game with them. We lost a game last year, 24-21 up in the spring, with those guys in a close game. And this year we were able to fourth quarter to actually finish a football game. And it was really good to see, a lot of fun. And our team understands and knows we're really practicing about 70% of what I feel like we should be. I think practice will be much, much better on Tuesday. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think our guys recognize and realize, got their confidence back and see that really everything that we want to accomplish for the season is still ahead of us. Three of our losses are non-conference losses, so we have all of our OVC games left ahead of us. We're 1-1 in the conference now and, have again, a big game coming up this week. So we're excited and looking forward to getting back in the weight room and back in meetings and back on the practice field next week.
All right, Coach, we can't hear Thomas, but, so your first 9 drives are all 30 yards or less. Then the next 4 combined for like 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. What was the spark? What switched everything?
Well, there was some adjustments. They're a tough team to prepare for defensively. They do a lot of different things, with twisting and moving and up front with their defensive front, and our offensive line, just needed to, I think, sometimes settle in and see the speed of the game. It's hard to get your scout team to simulate some of the things they do on defense and with the pace in which they do it with their twists and stunts and movements that they do. And, we really settled in there offensive line-wise, made some nice adjustments at halftime. The offensive staff did. Coach Malone, Coach Johnson, our offensive line coach, we sit down at half and come up with a few things. And, I thought that was a big difference. And, we had some quarterback runs already on for Willie already in the, we did that actually in the first half. So it felt like with Drew being out that, we needed to put Willie in and do some more quarterback type runs and use those in the second half. And certainly some of those were big and we were able to make enough plays in the passing game to, to keep the sticks moving. But, really it was just making some good adjustments at halftime and for our guys to get a feel, for what they do on defense. And, and that was really, to me, a big difference for us.
And then, on the other side of that, Coach, during that same stretch, your defense played good the whole game, but during that same stretch, you get an interception and 3 drives of less than 25 yards for SEMO. How about your defense?
Yeah, very proud of them. They've been playing solid, really in some tough situations. I mean, you would look at the scores of our games earlier in the year and you would never know that you'd make a statement. You feel like your defense is playing solid, but really our defense has been playing solid. They've just been put in a lot of short field situations. And, we've given up given up a punt return for a touchdown. We've given up some pick sixes for a touchdown and some of those things. So it was good to see us today to create some opportunities. That's one thing we haven't been doing defensively is coming up with some turnovers. And I also thought, too, now our defensive front really got after their offensive line. We got after them in the run game. I mean, Hess ran for 205 yards last week against TSU. We really got after them up front. And their quarterback, even though there wasn't a ton of sacks, one thing that shows doesn't show in the stats is how many times he was hit or harassed or was hit right after he threw the ball or had to move to throw the ball or was flushed out. that type of thing. He really never got to set his feet a lot to throw a football. And, I thought that was big. I was really proud of our defensive front. We're about 8-9 deep right there. We rotate a lot of guys in. I thought they played very well. It was good to have Cam Hudson back. We missed our corner last week. He got hurt in the Tennessee game and missed the EIU game last week. So it was good to have Cam back. I thought Naquan Washington, our other corner, played outstanding today as well. And I didn't see your, you put a question down there, Thomas, or comment down there?
He was putting some numbers in there.
Okay. I saw where David Gist had a career high, I think 133 yards, which again ran hard. And I thought Jordan Brown came in, too, and gave us a spark and was able to give Day-Day a rest and come in and, having a fresh back in there, was big as well. So I was really proud of both of our running backs, in the game. And, it was, and like I said, I'm very proud of our offensive line as well. Those guys, I've seen them starting to come together. We had Kurt Huff back today. He wasn't hardly able to finish the game. He kind of wore out. He's been out, for a couple of weeks, with sickness, and, was able to get him back in the lineup today. That is big. It was huge to have our fifth-year center, back in there. And then Isaac Cross, he had to come in, I thought did an outstanding job as well. Well, it's something we pride ourselves on. It's something about this game. I'll be honest, going into the game, talking about penalties, and last week, we had a couple of uncharacteristic penalties, for us, and I was disappointed in those. One of those came on when we would have had them held on a 3rd and 10 and, had a dead ball penalty. Again, the other guy can be roughing you up and talking to you, but you just can't react to it, and that's hard to get 18 to 22-year-olds to do that today. But, that's what you have to do. You can't – things after the whistle – become selfish. They become about you. And, I thought we did a nice job of that today. We only had the one penalty today, all day. We've had we've had some games we do that. We pride ourselves on that. We're traditionally one of the least penalized teams in the conference. Every year we felt like that this game here would, certainly not to get caught up in any of the, the stuff after the whistle and all those type of things would be big to keep our composure. Something we talked about in our team meeting last night was keeping our composure. So, we did a really nice job of that today of keeping our composure and just playing hard. And even the late hit we had on the quarterback, I mean, that was a hustle, bang, bang play. I thought, again, we were hustling and running. It wasn't anything that was dirty or anything like that. He was just playing hard through the whistle, which is what we told our guys to do today. You play through the echo of the sound of the whistle on both sides of the ball. And when the whistle is over, let's put our hand in the dirt and let's go back and do it again. And, just really proud of how our team responded to what we challenged them to do this week. I really challenged our guys how to handle ourselves at a pregame meal this morning. The reality is, as the head coach, I've got to look and recognize how many young guys and inexperienced guys we have. And, I can't assume that they understand how to do all those things, so I've had to do better at that, and I did. I felt like we did. Our pregame meal this morning was the most focused I've seen our football team, and I really felt we were going to win the football game today. Just based, I know it sounds crazy, but just based off how we handle ourselves, last night's team meeting when we left and how we handle ourselves pregame meal, I felt like we were really going to play well today. Yeah, Willie's really come on. We had a package for Willie, and again, our injuries we've had at wide receiver. We've had some injuries at wide receiver to where we've had to play. Willie at receiver, some and get him some snaps there and get him some snaps at quarterback. And, but, Willie, we did some things, here's what we did. We took the play sheet. We sit down there at halftime and says, Willie, what are the things you do well? Let's take the things that you're most comfortable doing. We felt like we're going to need to run the football, not give up on that. We're just down 10-0, or don't have to get in a panic mode or anything like that. We just need to put together some good drives. And he got in a rhythm there and, really did a nice job of managing the offense and doing some good things. And, we didn't take any delays. We got in and out of the huddle. We ate the clock the way we were supposed to and, really controlled the game in the second half. And he really managed it well. And I was very proud of him. Very, very proud of Willie Miller. Yeah, Jalen Baker and Javian Allen. I tell you what, two talented freshmen. We got some good freshmen on our football team. Ty Carter, we've lost for the year with a knee injury, a knee surgery. So we've had to put those two guys in there. They've been splitting snaps, and both of them make plays. Javian Allen is a football player. He just makes plays. He's not the tallest guy. He's not the fastest guy, but he's a football player. He makes a lot of plays, and he's not afraid to hit. He made some nice tackles on special teams. Jalen Baker is really, you can tell, very talented, athletic. And these guys come from good football programs. Javian Allen was the state player of the year in the state of Georgia last year, which is not an easy thing to do in 7A football. He was on a state championship team. Jalen Baker played at Lowndes County, which was same thing. You're always in the state championship game, traditionally one of the best programs in Georgia. And so they played a high level of football in high school. I think that's really helped them transition here. So it was good to see Jalen and Javian both make some big plays, in the game. Naquan Washington is a freshman playing corner for us, number 21, played very well today. We started Trey Lubin, played some at safety today for us. Was very proud of him. And one guy I don't ever want to overlook, I'm going to tell you, maybe the best defensive football player in the OVC is Josh Relaford. I don't know of a single player in the league that I would trade Josh Relaford for. I can tell you that. He shows up a lot. He is a tremendous, especially teams that want to try to run that football and run it at you. Your safety making tackles is huge. And Josh Relaford has done an outstanding job this year. I'd say through the first 5 football games of the year, there's not many people in the OVC playing better football than Josh Relaford. And like I said, I mentioned earlier about our defensive line. I thought they really controlled the game. The group that I challenged in team meeting last night was our offensive front and defensive front. I said, it's going to be a physical game. It always is. You just keep bringing it. And I said, if we can control the line of scrimmage, we can control the football game. And we did that today. I thought defensive line wise, like I mentioned, not only the number of sacks we had, but the number of times we just got harassed the quarterback. And because they had some talented receivers now. I was really concerned. I mean, we've seen them against Sam Houston State and against Missouri, and against Southern Illinois, some really good football teams making some big plays. I mean, their receivers are super talented, and they really never got loose today. I want to say made a couple plays, but we were able to, a big part of that was we were able to get around the quarterback, and I think that took away, some of it, but much better today of just making sure we're on the right guys. We started two guys last week and gave up a couple of easy things, uncontested things last week to EIU. That was much better today, but very, very proud of how our defensive front played today. Hey, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you.